Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. So as we sit around and wait, you may ask what we're sitting around and waiting for. We're talking about the I'm talking about the Corona package update for the EU and the ongoing EU meetings that are happening right now. It looks like from what I'm reading at this point, it looks like the total amount of 750 billion euros, 390,000 of grants and 350 billion in loans, and then grants, I think it's like 390 billion. But right, the numbers, I think, if I'm not mistaken, most of the participants and the countries have agreed to the numbers. But right now, it's their stumbling block that they're dealing with right now is called the rule of law, and my understanding of that, other than the actual verbal what rule of law means, how they're looking to establish the rules of law for these loans and these and the package. I think that's what they're discussing right now, and apparently it's supposed to go into the wee hours of the morning. So if you think about that, it's already 5 o'clock in London. Where they're at in Brussels, I think it's 6:30. So this is going to be another situation where it goes way out into the wee hours of the morning. So if you're waiting for any announcement to happen right now, it's probably not. And I think you're seeing a little bit of selling in the euro dollar as people go, screw it, why am I even long right now? Now here's the point I'm going to talk about for a moment with the euro dollar. I have to admit the euro is holding up pretty well. We do need to see a daily close above 114.50, in my opinion. We're not there yet, but we're basically sitting on that resistance, which would be bullish on a close above there. But one of the things that I have to say is, at this stage in the game, it's going to be really difficult to not have a deal, I think. All right. So do we get a buy the rumor, sell the news? We might get a little bit, but I still think that people are going to be buying the dips on the euro now. And I think the immediate target that we need to be very aware of is going to be the 115. And I think the 115 level, once you break above 115, then that opens the door to 118. Okay. But it's going to be a little, volatile around these levels. Try not to get too terribly excited without having any kind of knowledge for sure that we've gotten a deal or anything like that. And once we do, just I don't know if it's you necessarily want to run out and buy the euro at that stage, or you want to let it pull back a little bit and then buy it. It's hard to say, but I will tell you that my eyes are on the euro right now, and that's what I'm paying most attention to. I am also paying very close attention to the cable. I think the cable is a good long down here. The thing I like about the pound the most, and I tweeted about it today, which I don't, I've tried to keep my tweeting to a minimum recently because the markets have been just so up and down that it's not, it's been very lack of direction, if you will. But I do think the cable looks bullish here. We're popping above this this RSI on the daily chart. I want to see it above 127, above the 200-day moving average, because once we clear the 200-day moving average, I think 130 comes up pretty quickly. So, this 127% extension around the 129.60, I think that's very doable. And also, if you think about it, like the Aussies holding up pretty well, the Kiwi is holding up well. I think a lot of this has to do more with the euro below 115. I think if the euro gets above 115, that's going to really release dollar bearishness in other major currencies. Now, the one thing that I found pretty interesting today is the dollar Canadian still holding up pretty well. And the dollar Mexican peso, it actually stopped at the trend line, which I got stuck looking at something else, and I missed my sell when the dollar mex was up at 22.65. I was going to short some, and I didn't, because it was trading at 22.69 when I looked at it, and we were above that trend line. I'm like, okay, if it dips back below that trend line, I'm gonna short it. So I was going to short it at 22.65, and then my attention was elsewhere. I was looking at the euro and on the phone and stuff like that. So, but notice how the U.S. dollar Mexican peso failed at this downtrend line. That's important. It's important to realize that, because as long as we stay below that trend line, I think the risk for the dollar Mexican peso is lower. Now, if we get a close, above that trend line, then that's a different story. If we get a close above there, then you're looking at a pretty big reversal. So the euro stay in bid, the cable stay in bid, the dollar yen I'm still not really dealing with at the moment. Let's take a real quick look. And by the way, if there's anything that you want to see, just go ahead and put it in the chat box. Let's take a look at gold and silver. Gold and silver continue to be really strong. Gold's probing those recent highs. I think PM from our chat room asked, where gold can go from here, and I really think gold can reach for this. Let me show you really quick. This is the last big down move that we saw, right here. I think gold can challenge the 161% extension, which comes in at 1861. I think that's doable for the gold market. So for those of you that are trading gold, just be aware of that level as we get up there. Silver is bullish, trying to break out. I mean, 20 is going to be a big number. I mean, it's a big psychological level. I think it's breaking out. I already think it's breaking out, but I think to really get the market excited, above 20, and above 20, next thing you know, we're probably going to be in the mid 20s. Remember, these precious metals, in my opinion, are very, very are going to be very bullish, and the reason why is because when you have all this liquidity hitting the market, people want assets like gold and silver, hard assets that are just not, you can't just add liquidity like that. So gold and silver are going to be continuing to be in demand, in my opinion. And silver probably is going to trade, north of $22, and probably closer to 24 to maybe even higher than that. So just keep an eye on silver and gold. I think they're still bullish. No sense in trying to step in front of the strength right now. Let me see. Venkat asked about the NASDAQ 100. I mean, it looks strong. What can I say about the NASDAQ? I mean, it is still extremely bullish. We basically respected where we needed to respect, which was the 10,300 level. And while above that level, you have to remain bullish. Yeah, it is, you get below 10,300, things change. I know that RSI is divergent. I know sentiment is probably too bullish, but it doesn't matter. The market is thriving on vaccine news, this EU coronavirus relief. There's a lot of things that the market's looking towards. Whether or not it's sustainable up here, I mean, it may not be, but for right now, it's bullish. Okay. Nissim asked for platinum. Let's take a look at platinum. I haven't looked at that in a while, so. Here's platinum. Here's the CFD. Let's do this. Well, that's pretty easy, right? I think you have to treat this as a, right now, I think you have to treat this as a bull flag pattern. Higher lows, consistent highs roughly, right? and you got to assume that a breakout above 865, 870 is happening. You know, you have to assume that, and I think you drop below 815, and then you get a breakdown. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave it at that, and I want to say have a great trading session. I'll be in the chat rooms, just kind of watching the euro. I'm still long euros. I was long the cable a little earlier. I think the pound's actually, that's a currency pair I want to be long this week. At some point, I don't necessarily want to buy it right now, but I think once a EU deal gets done, if the euro acts positively, you know, I want to be buying the pound. So, sorry, I didn't mean to yawn. Mondays are always hard for me. You know, it's like, you know, I actually get like 7 or 8 hours of sleep and then on the weekends, and I try to sleep on Sunday night, and I get up so early. Anyway, for those of you that are not listening live, then that means you're probably not a ForexAnalytix subscriber. So make sure you try it. It's only $1 for 10 days, and I'll see you guys in the chat room. Make sure you download the mobile app when you're trying out ForexAnalytix, no matter if you're using the premium or the light version. All right, guys and gals, have a great one. Thanks, everybody.